Rüschlikon, a tiny village on the outskirts of Zurich and one of the richest communities in Switzerland. Real estate prices are booming, unemployment virtually non-existent, and social problems are few and rare. Or as the mayor puts it,
the Rüschlikon is a wealthy community, but they say, of course, you can be rich, but please don't show it.
One of the 5,300 villagers of Rüschlikon is Ivan Glassenberg, CEO of the commodity giant Glencore. Last year, his company went public, earning him more than $8.8 billion overnight.
The next thing was surprising because we got a phone call from the tax office of the canton. They said, please be prepared to have a bank account that can accept 360 million of Swiss francs.
The tax revenues from Ivan Glassenberg alone produced a surplus of more than 50 million Swiss francs. So the mayor decided to lower the taxes.
We proposed to reduce by 7%.
Legislation is not the only challenge. Sophisticated tax planning is today making it possible for multinational companies to reduce their tax payments, moving profits out of the country.
The phenomenon is simply rife all the way across Africa and indeed the rest of the developing world. In Africa, you see a particular focus in commodity markets. Africa's natural resources are being extracted frequently without countries and citizens of those countries getting their fair share. In 2008, if Zambia had received for its copper exports the same price that Switzerland declared for its copper exports in the same quite detailed commodity categories, Zambia's GDP would have nearly doubled that year. And this is in a country where something like 80% of people are living on less than $2 a day.
We in the Western countries have created the mechanisms by which this money flows. And it flows into our own coffers, and therefore we have as much responsibility as the poorer countries to try to curtail this phenomenon.
In many cases, the methods used for paying less tax is almost impossible for developing countries to scrutinize.
Transfer pricing is inherently complex, and the OECD model, which is unfortunately perhaps the dominant model to work out what a fair price is for trade between two subsidiaries of the same multinational, that process is very complex. Now, what you find in a low-income country, as Zambia was until recently, is that the capacity within the tax authority to deal with the complexity and to deal with the army of lawyers and accountants that a multinational company has at their disposal simply isn't there. So a multinational company like Glencore is able to resource their ability to defend a particular set of prices in a way that the Zambian tax authority finds extremely difficult to respond to.
Ivan Glassenberg made $8.8 billion on the IPO. 400 other Glencore employees made more than $100 million each. In late 2012, former British Prime Minister Tony Blair was brought in to help negotiate an $80 billion merger between Glencore and the mining giant Xstrata. If successful, the merger will almost double the company's size and influence in the world.